The Zambian Southern Province Permanent Secretary, Namani Monze, has reaffirmed government's commitment to partner with Angola in order to enhance and promote tourism in the region. Dr. Monze says the partnership has the potential to market Zambia and Angola as a preferred tourism destination and enhance cordial relationship of both parties.
He said this during the Angola-Zambia Friendship Day to mark the commemoration of the World Tourism Week in Livingstone on Tuesday. Dr. Monze says it is common knowledge that both sister countries have tradition and cultural events that have social economic benefits for communities, adding that this has potential to increase the number of foreign tourists visiting the two countries.
Such events have a potential to market our sister countries of Zambia and Angola as preferred destinations. As you might be aware, a lion in Zambia is the same as a lion in Angola, is the same as a lion in Zimbabwe, is the same as a lion in Botswana. But our cultural heritages are different and therefore present something unique to our sister countries. The government of the Republic of Zambia, under the able leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema, is in total support of this initiative of holding events such as Angola-Zambia Friendship Week. Because we believe that such events present one of the most effective ways of communicating between the people of the two republics.
Now, he said that the New Dawn administration, of course, is in support of the tourism partnership between both countries. And I think it's something that more African countries need to look towards. It's such a great idea. Several times on the show here, we've talked about us being able to travel freely within Africa, to be able to push tourism and promote tourism within the continent. So I think this is such a great achievement. I hope they're able to see through it.
Yeah, and pretty much the same way that the AfCFTA, I think it was called, Free Trade Agreement was celebrated. I feel like, there also needs to be, and that's why this is a good thing, within Zambia and Angola, but not just both of them. There has to be bigger conversations with regards countries improving on their tourism sector, and that includes here in Nigeria, because tourism is barely ever spoken about. There's a Ministry of Tourism, but unfortunately, the minister, is more concerned with information than tourism. So it's a conversation that a lot of African countries need to have. There are cities across the world, in the Middle East and in other parts of the world, that are major tourist destinations because of the involvement of their government and the amount of investment that the government has put into that sector. They make millions of dollars from tourism every year. But African countries have not been able to really get a grip on that tourism sector. And so this partnership would definitely improve in that regard. And I hope that it's not just political statements, but also good investments in that regard. Let those two countries be able to look back at where they were in 2020 and say, okay, this is where we want to be in 2025 and 2030 with regards to tourism. Let it be, a huge tourism destination in Africa.
I mean, when we're taking the papers this morning, whilst you were looking through the front page of the Citizen newspaper in Tanzania, one of the things they had talked about was making the slave trade route a tourist attraction. We have stories as Africans, stories of our pain and stories of our challenges, and these things are things that can be converted into some tourist destinations. Let's tell our story to the world. Let's represent African stories. We don't have to allow our pain waste. I recently, okay, it wasn't recently, like some years ago, I visited, for example, here in Nigeria, the Badagry slave trade museum. Is it a museum? I'll call it, yeah, but the slave trade in Badagry, right, where the slave trade happened. And I was just thinking, so much rich history, but unfortunately, we do not have access to that. Why? Because by the time you think of going to Badagry, and you think of the road to Badagry and how poor the road is, the reason I could go was because I went with a boat. And you think of how poor the road is. So there are several factors. that the countries, different countries on the continent need to work on. You need to work on your roads. You need to work on security. You know, there's several things that needs to be worked on for a tourism sector to be able to thrive. And, you know, I'm hoping that this is a conversation that we can keep on having. And beyond having these conversations, we can actually see the results being implemented.
Totally agree. And tourism to Africa is not just to, you know, see our pain and to share, you know, with the world, you know, about slavery.
Yes, to also share our beauty.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have so many great things going on the continent.